This is the Oxy Clone. We're really excited about this item. This is something that has been used on the hydro side for years on it. And what we've done now is taking a cloning system that is really specifically for homeowners on that. There's a price point that's there, there's the ease of use there, and there's a various sizes that allows a regular homeowner to go ahead and to clone plants. So basically, cloning on that, you're gonna take a cutting off of a plant. Let's say you have a tomato plant on an heirloom tomato, and it's a fantastic plant. You wanna clone that particular plant to use over and over. You take a cutting from that, and then the Oxy Clone system comes in 3 sizes. We have a 20 size unit. This is our medium size unit, which is 40 units, and then there's an 80 unit. They all do exactly the same thing. On the outside of your Oxy Clone unit, we provide an air pump on it. That air pump then is hooked through airline tubing to an air stone in it. And then the important thing with that is what it's doing is creating the bubbles and the oxygen on that. The combination with that and a rooting hormone in there are what help produce vigorous root growth on cloning. Also, inside the box, you'll have a water pump on it. What this does is continues circulating the water through there, keeping the water temperature down and rotating through on it. So if you can imagine, inside the Oxy Clone box here, we have this perpetual motion of oxygen and water moving through. And then, what you have with these are these Neoprene sleeves on these. We have these in multiple colors on it, so if you're doing different varieties of plants with it. So what they do is they open up for your cutting, put that in, and drop it in. About anywhere from a ½ an inch to an inch down with the end of your cutting in there. And what that will happen is then at the end of that, all of this oxygenation happens with your rooting hormone, producing the root growth. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks on it, to the point when all of your root growth is gone. You can actually take that cutting, an exact duplicate, a clone of the plant you had, transplant and do that. And there's 100 different ways of going through cloning. You can do fruit tree clonings, you can do vegetable clonings, you can do flower clonings on it. And here's the transition. This has been done in the hydro industry for years, but the problem was really price and size with them. You were $300, $400, $500 to get a unit for that. And for an average homeowner, that wasn't something that a garden center is going to be selling them. With our 20 unit one, you're talking something that's going to retail for $80. Our 40 unit is going to retail for about $139, and our 80 unit is going to be about $229. So this is something that we see on there for the avid gardener who wants to try that. They have something that has extreme ease of use on it. There's a price point for it, and it gives the garden center an avenue to have your avid gardeners expand and try new things out there. So we're very excited about the Oxy Clone on it. The response of the show has been fantastic on this. And you know, the other thing I didn't mention is we're not providing a rooting hormone with it. So whatever your customer is used to using or anything on it, that can go right in here, and then they can be successful from what they've been doing with cuttings in the past. How easy is it to do cloning on this? It seems like a very complex thing. Well, it really isn't. You know, if you go through there and do a cutting with this, almost any woody stem or vegetable one that you go through with it, all you are doing is putting a rooting hormone in there with water and oxygenating, giving an environment for this to thrive on it. And I think people are really surprised how quickly it happens and how successful you're doing. People have been doing cuttings and dippings into media areas in the past on it. And a lot of times you have issues with that where you have dampening off or rotting of the root system, and then your success rate in transplanting those is successful. With this, you're going to see the root system. You're going to see the prolific root growth in 2 to 3 weeks on it. And it's exciting because then what happens is people start to experiment with all the different plants that they can use on that. And even as a use inside the nursery for the store, I have one of the stores was in and talks about when they get their houseplants, all the broken stems and things of these houseplants on it. And so they've gone on that and started to clone the houseplants. So there's a lot of avenues to do with this. But like I say, those barriers of the price and the ease of use are gone now on it. So we do see the Oxy Clone line for us being one of our #1 units coming up as the years to come.